So maybe Josh like that. And
All right, so we all ready?
Ready.
you get the guys.
Yeah. Okay, so today I'm going to talk to you guys about furries. This is probably one of the largest and most misunderstood subcultures that you'll find today. Before I begin, do any of you guys have any idea what a furry is or what the furry fandom is about? Not you guys, because I talked to you.
Oh, wait. Anyway.
Yeah, if you guys have any idea.
They're dressed up as an animal and chill.
I mean, that's part of it. I'll definitely cover that later. But just think about it as more of a broad structure than that. A family. Furries are people or groups of people who are interested in anthropomorphic animals. Anthropomorphic means something with human-like qualities. Anthropomorphic animals are any of these up here. They can be an animal, a dog that walks on two legs, a lion that can talk. Anything that isn't found in the natural world that has some sort of human-like characteristic. You can also have other anthro creatures, such as anthro-bred, I have up here. So anthro itself isn't referring to the animals, but when you add the animals in, this is something like what you'll get. Personas. A lot of people who are furries will have a persona, which is an animal character that represents them. This is my persona, or one of my personas. Some of the artwork I've done, some people have drawn for me. She is a chimera, meaning she has a bunch of different animals mixed into her. White-tailed deer, sarcel, which is a desert cat, German shepherd, and chameleon. So it's kind of a big mesh, but the most common ones you'll find are usually a type of canine, probably fox, wolves, or dogs. People will express their persona in many different ways. They'll animate, voice acting, singing. Some of them will wear a costume. That's where fursuiting comes in. Fursuiting is probably the most easily seen thing of the fandom. Nicole, thank you for bringing the costumes up earlier. Because when you see a group of furries, or you go to a convention, or you hear about them, people think about the suits. Some of these suits can cost upwards of thousands of dollars. The ones I've made have cost usually in the $100 range. My most recent one has cost about $600 to construct. But if you pay somebody to build a full body suit, such as this one, a lot of these are partials, they will cost anywhere from like $3,000 to $10,000. And a lot of these people still live with their parents. So their parents usually aren't very happy when they come home with a cat costume in their bag. But this is something people are enthusiastic about. A lot of my friends' fursuit, you can see somebody who used to go to and she's now homeschooled. She's in her fursuit there, the fennec fox on the top. Any of you guys know Dr. Mackenzie?
Yeah.
One of his daughters is a furry. I've hung out with her before. That's her over there in the border collie suit. So, on from fursuits, we'll go into artwork. Fursuits themselves are probably a large piece of artwork. If you look at the understructure over there, that's what makes up them. There are a lot of foam, fur, tons of glue. You can get very easily injured from constructing one of these things. They're like a living, moving sculpture. But aside from fursuiting, which, as I said, is the most notable thing, we also have digital artists who will draw characters, will animate. You can see them expressed in different ways. Some of them will be more realistic, toony. The dragon I have up there isn't exactly anthropomorphic, but even so, it's still something furries are interested in. It goes along with the artwork is a big part of the fandom. Conventions are where we go to share our artwork. There are very large furry conventions, the largest being one known as Anthrocon. I believe it's in Philadelphia. It's held once a year. The chairman has people come in from all around the world. He organizes and he spends most of his daytime getting this done, but he's also a chemist, so it goes a long way from where the fandom comes from. The other two ones I have up here are Eurofurence and Midwest Furfest. Eurofurence is held in Berlin, Germany, I believe, and Midwest Furfest is held in Chicago. I'll be attending that convention later this upcoming year, November. The pictures I have down here are some events you have. You have Artist Alley up here. This is where people go to share their artwork. They buy, sell, just admire the work. You have a bunch of fursuiters clowning around, fursuit dance competitions. people just meeting up in general for photos, and they meet with their online friends that they haven't seen maybe ever or for the first time. It's a lot of fun to get together at convention. It's probably what we look forward to the most. Propaganda is something I was actually hoping that you guys wouldn't know about, and it looks like you don't, but I'm going to explain it anyways because I don't think it's fair to lie to anyone. So, here's some things that we've been known for. I'm going to cover this very slightly, simply because some of the propaganda isn't well suited for a school situation. Furries are known to be deviants in the mind of a lot of public figures. You can see some representations from people. They were, I wouldn't want to say blasted with hate, but they were kind of made fun of on CSI, My Strange Addictions, Vanity Fair. There's been a lot of different things which kind of poke fun at the furry fandom. A lot of individuals will. I shouldn't have put that one. Forget I put that one up there. The student you see in the bottom with the pink and the white, she was featured on My Strange Addictions. Now, I do not know this girl personally, but my friend who I talked about in the earlier fursuiting slide does know her. And both of us will be meeting up with her at Midwest Fur Fest because mutual friends. But a lot of that was actually staged. I'm not sure about CSI. From what I understand on that show, they basically went to all the furries in the local area. They had a convention, I don't remember the name, and they asked them, what's this all about? What is furry fandom? What is the culture about? And they took the script CSI had made, they made some edits, told them what they had, and when they gave it back, they were like, we can't use this! Because basically it had an accurate representation of the fandom. It was something playful, innocent. I mean, there's some more skate areas I'm not going to discuss. As with every fandom, we talk about Trek conventions, anime. Oh my god, anime conventions. Think about, I'm not sure how many of you guys watch that, but you know there's some weird things going on there. That's basically it for propaganda. Not a lot of it's true, but I'm sure if you dig deep enough, you'll find something. Going away from the more negative side, we have the positive side, which I think shows a lot more in the fandom. I have friends personally, I've helped myself, and I know of stories of furries helping others. Up in the side here, I have a group of furries came from Anthrocon, largest furry convention in the world. They came and they helped a local cafe, or kind of a delicatessen, and they were going under in business, and it had always been furry friendly during the convention. So when they heard about this, people shipped in some from around the country, and they spent a couple days there buying stuff, helping serve food, and they raised, God, I can't even remember how much money it was, but it was significantly more than they planned on raising, like thousands of dollars more. So where furries go, money usually goes. In fact, the state of probably Chicago too now that there's Midwest Fur Fest, but the state of Pennsylvania, or wherever Philadelphia is, I'm horrible with my geography, forgive me. I'm horrible with that, but wherever Anthrocon is held, I know they bring in a lot of money to the city yearly, and I've heard some stories coming from the chairman, again, not personally, but online stuff. If there's an issue going on at these conventions, the city where they're held will usually provide help simply because of how much money is brought in. Where furries go, the money comes with. These suits obviously cost money. They're going to have money to spare for conventions. The more helping I have around here is, up in the corner I have, again, not somebody I know personally, but because the fandom's so small, I have talked to him before. He is in Michigan. His persona is an Australian Shepherd. He goes around and he does a lot of charity work. He does mascotting for charity work, benefits. He's helped raise a couple online donations. I know I've helped him with something minorly by donating, but that's not. Down the bottom, I just have somebody making a kid smile, because I think it's cute. Recently, I've actually started doing some charity work, because I know that the ROTC group around here, do you guys know about the recent budget cuts for the U.S. funding? You guys all know about that? I didn't expect you to, Tyler. So we have the new recent budget cuts, and because of that, the ROTC group, which goes from this school and Calumet, all of our funding has been cut. So anything that we haven't paid for, we can't pay for anymore. So So anything that we haven't paid for, needs to come in. Right now I've been taking commissions to try and help raise some money for certain things we're doing in there. And we've raised almost $100 through that, which will all be going over to ROTC. So this is just a few of the ways furries have helped people before. There's a lot of others, probably some that I haven't heard of, but it's a lot more notable than the propaganda we see in media. These are a couple of prominent figures. Like I said before, the fandom's pretty small, so we don't have a huge base of fans or anything. You won't hear about, Lady Gaga or Justin Bieber talking about these people. They probably have no idea who they are. So they're not mainstream people that are prominent, but within the fandom, these guys are well known. The first guy I have over here, this is To the Ranting Griffin. He's a stand-up comedian, and I believe now he runs his own convention over in the UK. I'm not sure because this is going on YouTube, so I probably shouldn't be giving out all these bad facts. Any geographic things, anything you can just ignore. He is probably most well known for his more mature sense of humor. And he's very truthful. He's probably the most blunt person I can think of, aside from maybe myself. He won't be nice to make people happy. Second person over there is Uncle Kage. He is the chairman of Anthrocon. He's probably helped the furry fandom more than anybody in the past 20, 30 years. He's been a large part of it. He was made chairman, long time ago. I don't even know. But he's been around for ages. He's a funny guy. He does a lot of stand-up himself, but these are just the most well-known I could think of to put up here. There's him down there with Jesus Christ. See, he's supporting, being loving the community. Their personas, To the Ranting Griffin obviously has a griffin, named too. And Uncle Kage has a cockroach, a samurai cockroach is his persona. He is known as Kagumushi, something based off Shadow Warrior, the Shadow Roach, or Shadow Bug. Before I end, I want to tell you guys what the furry fandom means to me. I have not officially been in the fandom until last year in October. I believe that's when I joined, not last year, 2011, so last Halloween. I was making my first fursuit, and the more research I did on it, the more I found out about the fandom. And most of you who haven't just been around here in the past couple of years should know about my whole wolf thing when I was younger. So that's something that kind of reached back and connected. The furry fandom was just a more recent thing. A lot of my spare time is spent in this fandom. I plan meets, talk to friends, I roleplay as animals, I draw. I'm getting interested in taxidermy. Not a lot of furries are interested in that, but it is something, a subculture within the subculture. A lot of my money, any money that I make that doesn't come from my parents or things that my parents don't buy for me, I make off of this fandom by selling artwork. I have made in the past year probably near $600. So I mean, it's not as much as working a job day to day, but it's some extra money. There's also something I didn't cover earlier about helping people. A lot of furries, like myself, maybe not me as much as others, we aren't exactly normal. Okay, I'm not normal, but the thing is, a lot of furries are even less normal than I am. So that makes it a little bit harder on them. A lot of them also aren't as brazen as me, so most of them don't really fight back if they're picked on. Not that I'm really picked on, because who's going to mess with me? But anybody who's kind of weird, you get in bigger cities or different areas where people aren't as close, and a lot of these guys, they either don't have any friends or they're just miserable when it comes to school life. I don't know what everybody's personal tastes in the fandom are, but for whatever reason, furries are picked on by their locals. So when people come together in this community, it's a lot more of a family thing. Thank you for bringing that up earlier. We basically are a big family. It's kind of hard to believe because it's a very widespread group, but it's still so small. We all have connections and we can all help each other. Does anybody have any questions before I leave, or has anybody's opinion changed since I started this presentation? Oh, was hoping you had a question. You guys aren't very enthusiastic. Thank you. Good, because I'm speechless now too. Thanks.